the chat. I'm looking at the chat because the chat is available.
Chat's available.
People are throwing theories out that I slept in.
Yeah, that's true.
This narrative that I sleep all the time.
You scrolling Addison Ray TikToks,
no,
Kevin says.
That doesn't happen. Oh man, see another one, another theory coming in. This theory that I just sleep all the time, it's just false.
I don't know if it's false or I've seen it happen live actually last night.
Well,
me and Wyatt all worried about it because Wyatt and I were always up super late. There we go. We're fired up. We're on YouTube.
Fired up on YouTube now, so we're okay.
But because Wyatt and I, we have a problem. We stay up till like 2, 3 in the morning every single night, and then we're always texting each other. And maybe you are awake and you're not answering our texts, but like, we get a little worried sometimes.
All right, so welcome to the YouTube viewers. We just had a little bit of technical difficulties, and we're gonna upload it on Patreon because we've been recording this whole time.
This shows people my value to this show, to be 100% honest.
Really?
Because this morning it was an hour later practice, not enough prep done because I couldn't build the prep on the show. I'm here. Normally I do all the prep, and what I got 20 minutes today. Still got the graphics for Alex here.
You're taking victory laps and pinning this on Alex when minute before going live, both you two. Alex is trying to get us live, and you're like, Alex, should I change my shirt?
Yeah, because I don't think this shirt looks good on the camera like I thought it did. It's a new shirt.
Just on camera, you think?
Yeah,
is it inside out? That's inside out.
No, it's
not.
You
are 100%.
No, it's not inside out. I wore this.
Turn around. Show me there's going to be tags on.
No, there's no tag on the back. You can see on the camera.
It's not. See your back.
I checked. I literally looked at myself in the mirror before I left today, and I checked to see if there was a tag on the back because I was like, this looks inside out.
That's quite a shirt
today,
you got.
And I call it Flair Fridays. I put on my my Jordan shoes today, and I thought I had a really nice outfit today. I'm still wearing it right now. So, it looks a little inside out, but it's not. Okay.
Okay.
Positive vibes that we're up and running now. They're taking extra time to admire my Zapdos cards again. Shout out to Zephyr Epic, the good folks over there.
So the chat is jumping in with more theories.
Come on,
why
camera
we were
adjust. There it is.
Canadian Clay said, gonna assume the delay is due to quads, explaining why Spencer Martin should have done a reverse VH on the Strome goal.
Oh, I tell you what, that one goal where Spencer Martin got caught, I swear he was inside of his own net. He was so deep. I walked by Woodley talking about that after. Geez, I say, hey, Woodley, that's a tough goal, right? And I'm expecting a one-sentence answer from Woodley. And
really? You were expecting a one-sentence answer from Woodley?
Then I'm standing there for 15 minutes being lectured about goaltenders again. So, yeah, I got to stop talking to Woodley. But you know what he did the other day? Woodley brought like 200 pieces of candy into the press box the other night after Halloween. Wow. How many did I have? 15 to 20.
Wow, good for you.
Question. 15
good
to
for
20.
You. Did anybody top that number?
Oh, no, not even close. I sat down with about 15, and I was sitting next to Patrick Johnson. And he looked at me. He said, "Wow." And I said, "PJ, I went to the gym. Okay, I went to the gym.
You did not eat 15 of those.
Candies.
Dude, that's not good for you.
I know, but I went to the gym.
That doesn't
4
matter.
days in a row. Today will be my 4th day in a row of going to the gym.
That's
sore.
Great. That's great. But you can't be eating 15 pieces of candy a day.
No, I'm not doing it every day.
You can't do it in any day.
It was the day after. Well, they're little pieces. It wasn't 15 3-packs of Reese's. It was 15. There was mini cups and
I know what you're talking about.
A Skittles bag with maybe 7 Skittles in it.
I'm clear on what kind of candy you were eating. Can't be doing that.
There was a couple real fruit ones. Those are good for you. So.
Those are good for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of good for you, how about the Canucks last night? I tell you, we're feeling good today.
Yeah.
Coming in here, having some jokes. Big win on Bieksa night for the Canucks.
And that's the thing. Let's get to it. We're done. DoorDash.
Ding dong.
Live viewers, ConvoDD is the promo code, 25% off and free delivery on your first order with
podcast exclusive today because of Alex over there snoozing on the button again.
You leave Alex alone. This is unbelievable. I wouldn't be surprised if Alex leaves our show because of how mean you've been treating him.
No, I don't know. I think Alex is here for the long run.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so a big win on Kevin Bieksa night for the Vancouver Canucks. And folks, let's be honest here because, look, we've had the rebuild talk. We've talked a lot about
another win.
The losses surmounting and how, okay, well, even if this team, surmounts a comeback in the season, it'll be off the back of Thatcher Demko's hot goaltending, and it doesn't mean anything in the long run. Chris, I view yesterday as the perfect win for any Canucks fan because this is why. You got to see an Andrei Kuzmenko hat trick.
Oh,
who doesn't like that?
Oh, we love it.
You got to see the third 5-point night of Elias Pettersson's career. Who doesn't like to see that? You got to see Bo Horvat become second in the NHL in goals behind only Edmonton Oilers' Connor McDavid for the league lead in goals. Who doesn't like to see that? You got to see Spencer Martin moving around the crease. I understand. I'm in this a lot of less people like to see this, but Spencer Martin's changes to his game, it's like night and day watching him move around the crease. And people are seeing he moves a lot more like Thatcher Demko now.
Oh yeah.
He's an Ian Clark trained goalie, and he plays like what?
Thatcher Demko, a little frustration today, a little behind the scenes for you. Broke a stick early in practice, smashed
on
it
the
on the
post. Yeah.
Oh,
well, did that last year too.
Bad.
Did that last year
Knucklehead coming in and say I look fine. They say, well, I don't know if that's handsome lad. Yeah, Knucklehead says handsome lad. It's a nice shirt. It's not inside out. Okay, well, now you can see the zoom in. It's not inside out.
So the most negativity we have today, I'd say,
is from you.
Is free Rathbone. I'd say it's probably the only thing. Someone jumped in the chat. Clay Miller, shout out Clay Miller, watching the live show, said daily hashtag free Rathbone. Is sure, but
there's your negativity. Started there with Stillman.
I want to expand on why last night was the perfect Canucks game, and it's because look, everybody knows the Anaheim Ducks aren't a great team. Now they're the only team below the Canucks in the standings because now they're the sole possessors of 32nd place in the league last time I checked. Canucks are now 31st last time I checked. I should have checked that before the show. But right now, people are looking at it and saying, okay, well, the Anaheim Ducks aren't very good. Canucks gave up 5 goals to them. Sure, they outscored it, but probably not great that you're giving up 5 goals to the Anaheim Ducks, right? Canucks are still having woes on the penalty kill. We're going to touch on that later. But and you said they had a penalty kill heavy practice today as well, which we'll get to later in the show. But this is the perfect Canucks win because you got to see a lot of scoring. It was fun as hell in the third period, right? And again, like you got to see what you wanted to see. You got to see Elias Pettersson 5-point night. You got to see an Andrei Kuzmenko hat trick. Hell, JT Miller even looked okay, right? Like you got to see a lot as a Canucks fan that made you say, you know what? There is some hope here. Not hope for a playoff push this year. I can't stress that enough, folks. There is hope for the future here. And I know Andrei Kuzmenko and Bo Horvat might find themselves priced out of Vancouver, so that might be something that we have to keep an eye on as the season progresses.
Yeah, big night from the pair of UFAs after this season.
Yeah, I know. But the thing that I wanted to kind of point out is that, yeah, we got to see a lot that we like to see in terms of goals, in terms of just a fun hockey game to watch. It was a free-for-all. It was a
13
shootout.
goals.
13 goals. Who doesn't like that? It was a fun
Kevin
game
Woodley
to watch.
didn't like it.
And it is okay to watch a hockey game and say, hey, you know what? That was fun to watch. That was one of the most fun games that the Canucks have played all season. Now, this is still the house of positivity today, but the reason it was a perfect Canucks win was because what you saw didn't make you go, you know what? They could turn this around. They're going to be just fine. There are no problems with this team. It was the negative media. It was the negative fans making it up at the start of the year. Nobody's saying that. People still see all the glaring issues with this team. Even Bruce Boudreau after the game last night said, you know, we'd like to not let in 5 goals in a game. And again, Spencer Martin was not spectacular last night. And I wanted to get to that. It's in the YouTube description because I made that today, but you made the ticker. So the state of the goaltending didn't make it into the ticker, but that's in the YouTube description. So I want to talk about the goaltending, but I won't right now. I just thought that was a perfect Canucks win. You can't ask for much more if you're a fan because it didn't make anybody, especially not the team. And when I say team, I don't mean the players. I mean the organization, their philosophy going forward. It doesn't make them think, hey, this is fine. Everything's fine. And that was just a tough start that we had.
Yeah. To expand on what you're saying, an 8-5 win against the Anaheim Ducks doesn't push this team any more forward towards being a contender in the NHL. That's, I think, what you're saying. But it was fun
to watch. That's exactly what I meant. You're right. Yeah. But it was fun. It was fun as hell.
No, for sure. It was absolutely fun to watch.
Canucks are also currently in 27th. Kevin Punter jumped in the chat to say.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that need changing with this team, of course. But last night, man, let's just talk about the fun again real quick. Andrei Kuzmenko with the hat trick. I mean, that celebration on his second goal was incredible. When I asked Vasily Podkolzin about it in the postgame, Pods was like, yeah, you know, he keeps doing that, he's going to get a penalty. He said, like, he used to celebrate like that in Russia. And I remember posting, like, just clips of every Kuzmenko goal, and I made sure to include the celebration because the celebrations are a blast. And we saw that in the second goal especially. Like, he lit it up. He skated towards center ice, like, pumping the crowd, leg in the air, everything. Got a text from his agent last night. All it was a thumbs up and 5 smiley faces, or 3 smiley faces and a thumbs up. So he knew the hat trick happened. So he was paying attention last night.
Shout out Dan Milstein.
Good dude. Just finished his book. But yeah, I mean, fun night last night. The Canucks obviously needed a win. They played well. I loved the energy off the top from guys like Dakota Joshua dropping the gloves and being able to throw it around. Elias Pettersson absolutely dialed in. Came in last night with a 115 dog rating, which was season high for him. I don't think season high on the year, because I think Burrows might have been higher in one game this season, but he absolutely had that dog in him last night. Elias Pettersson was excellent. You could just see, like, I don't know. I think throughout the season we've seen, and I think you can really see this from the press box, just watching like the lanes that Pettersson is taking, where you see him like be able to kind of put his head down and just hit these lanes so hard that are going to give him the most open ice, but also time with the puck. And against good teams, like, it hasn't worked out every single time. There's been some struggles, I think, at time where, good teams are aware of that and they shut it down quickly. But against the Ducks, he was able to fully go through those lanes and set things up. And you mentioned it, 5-point night for Elias Pettersson last night. Heck of a lot of fun. I think as you look at this season, you're hoping that the Canucks can look like that against the Ducks, against the Coyotes, against these weaker teams in the league, against the Blackhawks, like these type of teams you'd like to see the Canucks show well in. But it's going to still take, it's going to take like some 7-3 wins over the Bruins, over the Rangers, over some good teams to actually see what's going on with this squad and start to have some real investment in believing that they're a contender, because I think they're still a long ways away from that. And I still am in the belief that, yes, we're having a positive show today. We're having good times, but there's still a negative feeling around the fan base, I think, still in general, when you start to look at it long term. Yes, last night was a lot of fun. They won it for Bieksa. And I tell you, you saw that video, right? We didn't see it at Showtime yesterday, but how good was that Kevin Bieksa talking to the locker room? Oh my goodness, 4 minutes and of him just having like an incredible way of talking to the players, talking about how a team needs a certain amount of leaders from the defense corps, a certain amount of leaders from the forward group, guys that are going to be out there working hard. And you know what happened today at practice? Every single player stays out late after practice, and they're working on things, and they're doing things like all the centers are at a certain spot doing faceoffs. All the power play guys are set up taking it was exactly like Bieksa said in his chat. Like the shooters were down at one end of the ice taking shots from either side on the half walls. The guys who are going to be net front guys, like you saw Dakota Joshua, Pod Coles, and even Kuzmenko, they're all standing in front of the net tipping pucks in. Like, everything that Bieksa said in that speech yesterday was happening today at practice. Bieksa didn't just show up and have his name celebrated. He made a little bit of an impact. And when he came here to Vancouver, that talk that he gave in the locker room, I think it resonated with a lot of players. I think it was that good of a little speech of him coming in. Brotad said it, the juice effect. It was like I think he did make a little bit of impact on this team. Do I think it's going to change the whole way that this team is looking and how we see it moving forward? No. But it definitely made an impact at some point, and it, to a certain degree, really helped this team yesterday, I think. And I think some of it spilled over to today. And you could see it at practice today with every single player. Not one player left the ice. They all stayed late to work on something, just like he talked about in that speech yesterday.
And I mean, I think you want to see more of that, right? Like with this core, right? And as you try and figure out who your core actually is, as we kind of navigate the waters of who should get moved, who's going to get traded at the deadline because they don't have a contract for next year, that type of stuff. You want to see who those leaders are that emerge. Because, yeah, he pointed out the Sedins were out working late. Even Luongo's out working late, all that sort of stuff, right? And, you do something well and you own it and you go do that thing and you work your butt off at it. That's what he said.
You know what was important, though? It wasn't just him being like, in that speech that he gave was like, hey, stay late, work hard, do this. It was like the fact that he said, like, hey, you're an energy guy, be in the gym, work in the gym. He explained it so well that it's like, I saw a lot of people saying, like, get this guy on the bench, get this guy in the organization. Hell yeah. Like, that's the type of player that you want. Not player person. It's the type of person that you want in your organization helping to push it forward. I thought it was great. And Alex, like, what's the dog rating on Kevin B? I can probably go back and look up some stats for it.
100% face-off percentage last night. As someone in the chat pointed out.
Can we pull up this? Let's move on to the next thing. Stillman, he's got no dog in him last night. The first time.
I thought we were being positive.
I know, but let's talk about the defense score, because I think that's something we need to talk about.
But I thought we wanted to be positive.
Yeah, but let's go. We got to talk about the defense score. We got to talk about Jack Rathbone. I'm sitting there watching him in the press box again last night as Stillman's getting skated around. The defense pairings, they didn't change again today. We saw the exact same defense pairings: Hughes and Shen, Stillman and Myers, OEL and Bear, and then Rathbone and Burrows, the extra two. Little surprised to see that when we saw what looked like some changes to the forward groups.
I don't want to be negative today, but
I know we're not being negative.
Let's talk about Riley Stillman last night. Did Riley Stillman, was it you? Well, obviously it was you. Did I read it correctly that Riley Stillman topped OEL's worst ever dog rating from 2 games ago?
It was the first time in dog rating history that a player has finished with a negative dog value. The dog was let out. Who let the dog out? It was Stillman. Stillman let the dog out. 0 dog in him last night. The dog was outside of the body. It was the first time we've ever seen a negative dog rating, which was incredible. It's hard to do that.
Kevin Punter pointed out that pinch from Stillman at the offensive blue line was absolutely ghoulish. And it was
Vincent's
bad.
Got a good point. Rathbone needs to either play or be sent to Abbey so you can get on the ice.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable at this point. And again, like, I understand that there's people. I actually had something prepared for this. And this isn't even negativity. This is positivity. I'm trying to be positive here.
Okay.
I'm trying to be positive today. The Canucks have cornered the market on third pairing defensemen.
Oh.
That's what it feels like right now, right? Like Luke Shen on any good team.
Dog,
absolutely. Heart and soul guy. But he's a third pairing guy. Sure. And he's playing on your first pairing. Ethan Bear on a good team, Carolina, couldn't get in the lineup, and if he could, it was in a third pairing role. Now, I'm not trying to slag on any of these players. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying that the Canucks have a lot of guys who can play the same role. They don't really have that clear-cut number 1, number 2 defenseman. Like, Yel was on the third pair last night.
Yep.
I don't want to get into his performance too much.
No.
Got to see a larger sample size. But I did want to point out that, yesterday on the show, we were like, Yel's got to be playing hurt. Got to give him the benefit of the doubt. I believe it was Patrick Johnson. It was either him or Drance. One of those two. I think it was PJ. Reported that OEL told him that he's never felt this good in his life. Oh. So it's not that.
Love dealing with OEL, but
OEL's a good dude. OEL's a good dude by all accounts. And we've had only pleasant dealings with him. So we're not going to talk too much about OEL today. It's something to keep an eye on. But my point here, Chris, is that the Canucks have cornered the market on third pairing defensemen. And basically what it feels like right now is that they're trying to pick whoever the best third pairing defenseman is, even though the margin between them is very, very small. My point of playing Rathbone, and as a commenter said, either send him down or play him on the third pair or give him NHL minutes, is that among all of those guys on the third pair, Jack Rathbone's the only one with actual top 4 upside.
Yeah, big time.
He's also the youngest. He has the most potential payoff of anybody you're playing right now. So if the difference is marginal, and I think he's better, I think he's marginally better than Riley Stillman at both ends of the ice, at everything that you want from a defenseman. I think he's marginally better than Riley Stillman. And again, I know there's pros and cons to each guy. I understand Rathbone's in-zone defense needs a little bit of work, and that's something Stillman's, supposedly got. But I think when you take everything into consideration, the difference is razor thin. And I think the difference in terms of what they could become is significant with Rathbone. And I think that's the biggest reason that you need to be playing this guy right now or finding him ice time. If you need to send him down, sure. I don't think that's the move. I think he belongs in your NHL lineup, both in the short term and the long term. He's getting nothing out of playing, as Commander Vander jumped in the chat and said.
That's a good name.
That's a great name.
Think about before we even started doing this live show, but when we were still doing the podcast, how often did we talk about this season just being go time for Jack Rathbone?
And to be fair,
I think he's been up for the occasion, but it just feels like he can't get into the lineup for some reason.
To be fair, Rathbone hasn't blown the wheels off. Like, he hasn't come out and demanded to have a spot based on his play. Like,
no, for sure.
That's not what we're trying to say.
I mean, if you really think about the 2 players that were benched last night in the defense score, Kyle Burroughs, I think, has played better than Jack Rathbone. But to what you're saying, and to your point, Kyle Burroughs doesn't have that top 4 upside like you see in Jack Rathbone's game. So you have kind of an internal struggle, I guess, because like it seems like in the coach's eyes, Stillman, obviously he played last night. It seems like he might be the better option in the coach's eyes. But I feel like a lot of other people, and we see him in the chat here all the time, like Burroughs has got that dog in him and he brings a lot to a game. I think he hasn't made a ton of mistakes in his positioning. And you saw, Stillman got exposed last night on a couple different plays, right? It was tough. Yep. It was tough to watch. It wasn't just the one that was like very clearly where he dove for the puck and then was beat. And then Spencer Martin gets dangled to the backhand and they score there. There was like a couple plays even that didn't get scored. And I know Wyatt showcased a couple of these in the Stanchies. Like, he got exposed for not being able to move with guys that were attacking. And I don't think Rathbone or Burroughs does that. They don't get exposed because of their skating like we saw with Stillman last night.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brotad jumped in the chat and said, this is why we need to know if Bruce knows about the dog ratings. Keeping those guys out versus OEL and Stillman makes no sense.
I tell you, last night the dog ratings were just perfect. Like looking at the numbers that came out of the formula, I looked at it, I said, geez, this thing is so damn good. This dog rating here, whoever put this together, it's beautiful. It's perfect. It was perfect. All the ratings were exactly, came out exactly like I would have expected.
And expanding on that, Pettersson was extremely high.
Oh.
And like, look, folks, that's your franchise center coming out and having a 5-point night. Best game of the season for him against a team that they should be dominating in regular times, right? Like, Elias Pettersson was the best player on both sides last night.
Oh,
like, and I mean, on paper, and I mean, he actually proved it last night too.
Like on the ice, on paper, and the dog ratings, he was the best player by far.
Absolutely. And that, like I said, it wasn't just last night. It's what you expect when you look at both rosters and you pick one player who's the best from both rosters. It's Elias Pettersson, and he played like it last night.
Yeah, and that pairing of him and Kuzmenko, just seeing them work together, it's been impressive to watch that duo start to grow a little bit of chemistry together. I think Pettersson mentioned it last night when I asked him about it, and he said, you know, the more that they play, the better they're going to get. It's bang on. It's true. And I tried to joke around with Mikheyev a little bit today, because I keep hearing that Mikheyev's this funny guy. I'm trying to crack him open a little bit here. So wow. I asked him about playing with Pettersson, and you know, they're not teaching him any Russian yet, he said. But it is nice, he said, to be able to sneak in a few things that you can just like clearly say to Kuzmenko and nobody else on the ice understands. So he is doing that in faceoffs, he mentioned. But maybe they'll work with Pettersson, teaching him a little Russian as well. I don't know, though, about Mikheyev being long-term there still. I know we touched on it yesterday. And I was having this conversation with some people today at practice, and I was just thinking, like, I do think that there's better options to go with. And I'm curious, because I think we touched on it a little bit yesterday, but I'm in the camp of somebody else can probably help that duo more than Mikheyev can. And I know that, like, they've been good. Don't get me wrong. Like, they've been good. Mikheyev's been fine in that spot. But I want that line to be, when I'm tweeting out lines, that's the one that's out there playing the most. That's the number one line with Pettersson on it, right? Like, I want Pettersson to be the number one center on this team. And I think a lot of the time, because of the way that it gets lined up and the way that Bruce kind of uses them at 5-on-5, it feels like the Horvat line's the first line, right? Like with Miller on there, maybe we'll see Brock Besser soon. We saw Niels Höglander on that line today, which was very interesting. But I think you want to put your best player on that with that duo right now, creating offense. And it could be JT Miller. It could be Connor Garland. It could be Brock Besser. It could be Vasily Podkolzin. I just think that there might be some better options than Ilya Mikheyev right now. And I think, I don't know if it's going to change, because it's working, right? That's the thing. It is working. But in my eyes, it could be working better. Like, that's what I'd like to see for the Canucks.
I think last night, the moment that fans kind of looked at and said, okay, maybe it's time to give someone else a shot there, is when Pettersson made that really, really nice play. And Mikheyev didn't have a wide open net, I don't want to say, but that's one he's got to bury. The one that hit the post.
Yep.
You were just like, that's one you have to finish if you're playing on Elias Pettersson's line.
Yeah.
Like, you need to put Pettersson with wingers who can finish. And right now, Mikheyev's just not finishing. So, again, Henrik M. jumped in the chat and said, you know, Ilya has the speed on a pair with EP.
Yeah, he does have the speed. I think that someone like, but then you can look at other parts, right? Does Garland has the quickness? Besser has the shot if he's healthy. Miller has a shot if he's healthy. Like, there are positives that I wonder work. Like, I feel like the piece of the puzzle that Mikheyev is to that duo works. It fits with the puzzle. But, like, maybe it's just the piece fits, but it maybe doesn't help to the image of the puzzle. You know where I'm going with this? And then maybe there's a better option on this lineup to see. I think you could try some different things, but I think that's also tough, because you are seeing success. And would JT Miller going on that duo shut things down and make things worse in their own defensive zone? I think it would. I think it probably would. But would it help them really create even more at offense in the offensive zone and have better finishing? I think it also would do that as well. So I think, yeah, though I'd like to see that line be like the scoring line, the number one scoring line on this Canucks team. And right now they're playing like it. I just think it could be better scoring wise. But then, like, now that I say it out loud, like, maybe Mikheyev is defensively the right fit, right? Is Garland worse than Mikheyev defensively? Probably. Is Miller worse defensively than Mikheyev? I think so. So maybe Podkolzin's another option, because I think Podkolzin might be a guy who's on par with what Mikheyev does in the defensive zone, but can also bring a little bit of a different look offensively, specifically with finishing, right? That's the thing that Mikheyev, I don't think, is bringing to this trio right now is the finishing ability. He's setting up, he's getting in, he's using his speed, but he's not finishing. And I think that's the only thing that you'd like to see with this duo here. And that's why it's like a guy like Höglander won't work because he can't finish right now with this Canucks team. Podkolzin, he probably doesn't work because he can't finish right now. But there's not a perfect fit, but I wonder if there's a better fit right now somewhere else on this lineup.
I think the thing you have to consider, because you brought up JT Miller, and JT Miller playing defensively when he's on the wing and covering the points, it's not bad. And you have Elias Pettersson. Well, hang on. You have Elias Pettersson on the line, who, as someone in the chat pointed out, has been the Canucks' best defensive forward.
For sure.
By a country mile.
Yeah.
Right? You have him on that
Niels
line.
Amon, that guy, he's good defense.
Niels Amon is
very strong defensively.
Yeah. He's been a pleasant surprise.
More and more.
Yeah, he's been a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I've been blown away with what's happened with him this season.
Really? Blown away is the word?
Yeah. I'm blown away. I thought he was going to be out in Abbotsford. He's out here playing every night for the Vancouver Canucks. I am blown away by what Niels Amon has done.
That's fair.
What are you laughing at?
I would say blown away for him putting up 6 goals in as many games as he's played.
No. I'm blown away. I'm going to be blown away if Philip Johansson does the same thing, comes in next year and plays on the Canucks defense third pairing. I'd be blown away.
Blown away is, I feel like you're using that too liberally.
What are you talking about? I'm blown away with Niels Amon. What's wrong with that? I am.
Blown away just seems so extreme.
No, it's not extreme.
You can say you're impressed.
I would say
surprised.
The extreme
blown
thing
away.
If I was flabbergasted by Niels Amon, that would be extreme. I'm not flabbergasted.
I would say flabbergasted is less than blown away.
No, it's not.
On the rating,
how often do you say flabbergasted?
I say it all the time.
No, you don't. Somebody go back, listen to every episode of this show. Tell me how many times Quads has said flabbergasted. I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with hero.
Commander Vander jumped in the chat and said, Ilya brings balance to that line right now.
This part is a little bit true.
Yeah.
Right? And the balance, that is, I think, when I look at this lineup and I think of the different players that could be in there, yeah, the balance is probably best with Mikheyev or maybe Podkolzin. Podkolzin, I think, would find some balance on that line. But yeah, the way I'm looking at it is maybe just a little bit more for scoring, because look what happens when this team is clicking and playing against a weaker team. Like, that line exploded offensively yesterday. So, yeah.
Okay. Want to get to the penalty kill?
Oh. Yeah.
Also, someone jumped in the chat. Vincent Jericho jumped in the chat asking you the question if Rathbone killed penalties when he was in Abbotsford. He did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
For like a couple games at the start.
So it was Trent Cole sending him out.
Yeah, well, not very much.
I mean, it
not
shouldn't take
often.
him killing penalties to get into this lineup.
No, exactly.
And I know that's not what you're saying.
No,
yeah.
no. I mean, everyone said in Rathbone he went down and worked on his defense. He wasn't killing penalties though. Maybe like a little bit. Maybe the first 2 games, and then it was like, we have better options.
And he was playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Get to it.
Kill. Let's get to the PK here. Bottom of the league.
Folks, guess what? Elias Pettersson is the Canucks' best penalty killer. Would you have believed me if I told you that 2 years ago? No. Hell, even a year ago? You wouldn't have, because he didn't kill penalties.
Alex, you can pull this up here. The PK, bottom of the league.
Not good.
PK is just, it's tough.
Not good, folks.
No.
Not good.
No, look at this. I mean, Anaheim Ducks, second worst in the league. 57% for the Vancouver Canucks. At least their power play's clicking. I think somebody joked about that with Boudreaux today and just said, hey, if you just get your power play up to 40%, everything will be fine, balances out.
Okay, sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead.
Well, you said it was a big penalty killing practice today. So what did you see at practice? I wasn't there.
Yeah, pull it up, Alex. I got some interesting things from the PK today. Big penalty killing practice. It was interesting the forwards that they were using. Okay? Hear me out. Pearson and Amon, Pettersson and Mikheyev, Studnicka and Joshua. Those were the penalty killers. Those 3 duos were the penalty killers. That's interesting in its own right. But the more interesting part, no Miller, no Horvat. They're not out there killing penalties.
They will be when Pearson's the one that takes the penalty.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. As soon as Pearson's up, but I'm curious to see what they end up using Horvat for there. But I'm wondering, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this. Are JT Miller minutes on the PK going to be something that is going to be expired very soon? Right? I mean, the guy's getting scored on at a ridiculous rate. I think I looked up this number. 3rd in the league of guys who have played a minimum 5 minutes penalty killing. Miller's number 3 in the league for worst goals against per 60. And a lot of that's coming because they get scored on within 9 seconds. He loses the face-off. He's only won 1 of 7 face-offs this year on the penalty kill. Horvat's the only guy winning face-offs on the PK, and that's what's hurt. That is a big reason what's hurting the Canucks. And Boudreaux talked about it today. About it's nice to win a face-off on a PK and be able to clear the puck right off the bat, but it's not just that. It's what it does for the PK group, the fact that they were able to start the penalty kill with a clear, right? It's not about, the seconds ticking off the clock is great. But for the group, it's like, hell yeah, we got the puck out. Boom. Let's get set now. Let's keep rolling. I think that's what a lot of it is about. And the Canucks aren't winning faceoffs right now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward with that. But a lot of time spent on the penalty kill today. Basically all the practice, aside from them like doing a couple drills to start and a couple drills to finish, and then having a little conditioning at the end, it was spent on the PK. So this is something that they're working on. And Mike Yeo is the guy running a lot of this PK. I think we've mentioned that it might be Trent Cull earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mike Yeo running this, and I think Boudreau talked about it today. He said Yeo's working on this like 8 hours a day, and they're trying to learn from good penalty kills around the league on what they need to change, what they need to do. So they're working on this, man. They are, and they really need some help because, as we saw in the graphic earlier, worst in the league, under 60% once again for the Canucks on the PK, which is, you're not going to win games. You're not going to be a playoff team with a 60% PK. I'm sorry. You can be the best scoring team in the NHL. If you're giving up a goal 60% of the time when you go shorthanded, you are not going to be a playoff team. So not even close.
So who's taking faceoffs? Because here's the thing. I don't know if I read much into Horvat and Miller being off the PK in practice today. And my reason for that is definitely more so Horvat. Understand. Okay. Definitely more so Horvat because he's the only guy winning faceoffs. Who's winning faceoffs for you? Nils Amon? I don't think so.
He blew me away with this.
He blew you away.
Yep.
Vincent Jericho jumped in the chat again. JPAT has floated the idea of Podkolzin.
So I've been telling you this for 5 years.
Yeah, list it up here.
Before he was drafted, I was telling you
you're gonna offend Faber by attributing this idea to JPAT.
JPAT floated the idea
because Faber's been saying it since Podkolzin was drafted.
Oh man, before he was drafted. Yeah, I say that every day at practice to the rest of everyone in the media area. I say I'm still shocked that Podkolzin is not killing penalties. He did it so well. Like when Russia used him, World Juniors, down to a 5-on-3, he's the forward out there.
Mm-hmm.
This happened when he was playing for SKA, the team that played him for 4 minutes a night. He was getting half of his minutes on the PK. Like, he is a penalty killer. He's good at it. He was one of the best in the KHL at blocking shots per 60. Like, these are all stats that I had to freaking track on my goddamn own here in the KHL, putting together everyone who's blocking shots and calculating it. Like, this guy blocks a ton of shots, and he was doing so much on the penalty kill. Podkolzin should be on the penalty kill, and it's a no-brainer to me that he should be out there.
Hey, he's not even that bad at winning faceoffs.
No, I say he's not the worst.
He's not the worst. He's not the worst.
Jarhead's been listening for years, obviously. He said it first.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Give us the bet.
Well, it's good to see Yash again in here, too.
Also, someone jumped in and said Mike Yeo's running the penalty kill. That explains a lot.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, Yeo is having some long talks today, too. He had a Pettersson for a few minutes. And
I like Mike Yeo.
I do, too, yeah.
Seems like just a nice guy.
I know, but there's
I'm not basing this off his coaching ability, just to be clear.
I feel like he's one that when that happened, Canucks fans were a little confused. Some would even say flabbergasted, maybe. You would probably say that since you say it all the time.
I say it all the time.
Yeah, every time. Quads is flabbergast per 60. Off the chart. Mine is lower than Stillman's dog rating today. Actually, I've had a very flabbergastical full show today, which is a word. You can look it up. But yeah, I think the fan base, I'm not sure if they like the two associate coaches, I guess, Cull and Yeo, they're gonna they have some work to do to win over this fan base, I think, right? Like, I don't think there's a lot of positive vibes coming in on those two.
What do you want me to say to that? Like, yeah, I mean, I guess you're right, but I don't know. They're assistant coaches.
I know, but think about the
Everybody
Brad Shaw. Everyone come Bradshaw this. I'm getting the Bradshaw jersey. Like, everybody, like Terry Bradshaw's making a comeback. Everyone last year saying that Bradshaw is going to be he's going to get Quinn Hughes.
How Bradshaw rebuilt Quinn Hughes.
God, you wrote an article about it. Probably.
No, I didn't.
But think about how much they love Bradshaw. Nobody's really given the same love to Trent Cull. And
Bradshaw did one interview on Sportsnet 650 where he said, "I have ideas for how to fix the Canucks defense," and that was a lot better than whatever they were dealing with now. Okay,
got an idea.
Their defense wasn't spectacular last year. Let's be clear. They just had really good.
Knucklehead asking, or somebody, do you have any more Pokemon cards you want to collect soon? Working on it. I want to get the full set of original 151. I got the binder. I don't need to pull it out right now. Maybe at the end of the show. But I got the Zapdos the other day. I think what I'm going to do is collect the 3 birds now. I'm going to get Articuno. I'm going to get Moltres. I think both of those are from the fossil set. So
Beats me, man.
yeah, replace Yo and Call with Bieksa and Burrows.
Okay, I actually had this thought, and not replacing. I'm not calling for anybody's job, but Kevin Bieksa, I think he has a future in coaching, and he's coached youth hockey for 10 years.
Oh yeah,
the Marty St. Louis route, right? Marty St. Louis jumped into coaching in the NHL after coaching Pee Wee AAA, right? That speech yesterday, that was enough to sell me on Kevin Bieksa as a coach in the NHL for the Vancouver Canucks, to be clear. Do it. Make it happen.
Rotad said I should get some Lotad cards. Is that, I can't see what the
don't
logo there. Is that a Lotad?
Don't start talking about Pokemon again.
Oh, I know. Well, people, hey, listen, give the chat what they want.
Okay. Are we done?
No, I mean, we still got a little bit more to wrap up. Abbotsford tonight might be hearing a similar voice on the broadcast tonight for the Abbotsford Canucks.
What, with the spray?
I'll be hitting the spray. Well, that's the thing. If my throat holds up, and it's been good most of the week, I'll get out there on the broadcast. We'll see.
So did you say might, or are you actually on the broadcast?
I said you might be. Well, I'm talking to Brandon Asshole over there, and me and him are gonna. What? He's a play-by-play guy for them.
I know. Okay. Enough, right? We're done.
His uncle saying never gonna give you up. Rick Asshole.
Okay. All right, get to Betway. But wrap up.
No bet today because listen, I put the video out on Twitter this morning.
Canucks Army.
Yeah, Canucks Army. I forgot that Colorado and Columbus, they're off in Finland or something. Playing Finnish time.
Dude, news to me. Like that's what's so funny. When you talk about the NHL and their marketing with like Heritage Classics and stuff,
idea.
I walked in, you're like, are they playing in Finland? And I said, I don't know.
Yeah, I just I looked and I was like, this is weird that the Avalanche haven't played since Saturday. And the Blue Jackets haven't played since Sunday. I had no idea these two teams are in Finland right now.
Yeah, they're in Finland right now.
And then the tweet that I saw was like, it's not Patrick Laine in his home city scores a goal, and I was like, what the hell are they talking about? Betway, baby. So I don't know if that bet even hit, but it's already run through. It was something about I don't know, a bunch of goals, the Avalanche winning, McKinnon with a pair of points. So
go check out Betway.
Yeah, Commander Vander says I bet people in Finland didn't even know. Probably a full crowd there. Oh, prospect report.
Oh no.
Here we go. All right. Big stuff today, folks. I got a prospect. I didn't even think about this. I got to pull up the video here. Let's see. The Canucks, they got a new top prospect for the right D. His name is Connor Lockhart. I'm just going to pull up the tweet from the Peterborough Petes. Look at this. They call it a defenseman in his natural habitat because last night Connor Lockhart, look at him right there, number 18 for the Vancouver Canucks prospect system. Normally a winger. He's playing defense last night because I don't know what's going on with Peter. Well, I do know what's going on. I got some information. Peterborough, they got like a flu running through their team. Apparently it's running through all the defense core, and that's it because now they had to skate with 4 defensemen and Connor Lockhart lining up as a D-man last night. So I had this tweet last night. Canucks fans be like, Jesus Christ, that's our right-hand D prospect. I think that's a good little meme right there. But it's a Jason Bourne thing if you don't know.
I was going to say, you didn't really explain that very well.
No, but I mean, that's what I'm talking about here. And then, so that was it basically yesterday from Connor Lockhart. But I think he ended up finishing the day with so he lines up a defenseman, scores 2 goals, adds an assist, just absolutely lights up the lamp. So he is now the Canucks' top right D prospect, apparently, according to me. Anything else that you got there?
No, I'm tired. I wish I had my comfy today. We're in this hoodie again. It's my most comfortable hoodie.
Yeah, it's another, what I try and do because I'm always in these Betway videos. I'm like, I can't be wearing the same shirt every day. You just show up here, same toque, same bangs, same hoodie.
Sorry, I got sweatpants on today too. I don't know if the people on camera 3 could see it, but when we close it out, which I think we're gonna do now. Do you have anything else?
Just I hope everyone has a good weekend. It was another fun week here. I appreciate everyone in the chat that comes by here. I'm just blown away with this. A lot of the same people coming in here and joining the chat. It's so much fun to have this reaction. We always talked about this when we were at Sportsnet doing our Saturday show.
The regulars
that we had, but this is so much better than the 650 inbox. We have way more people to interact with here. You guys are making the show so much more fun for us to come in and do every day here. That's all I want to say. It's been a blast. I know we're a month into doing this show pretty much at this point on YouTube, and I've just loved doing it so far this way. And yeah, it's fun to come in here and chat about the Canucks here. Even today, where I got no prep time, I'm worried up late. I got nothing on here, no graphics made it 30 minutes before the show. I got to come in here and fix this whole thing. You know, Alex put us on. I don't know. We were on MySpace for half an hour today, apparently. I don't know what's going on here with this show.
You be nice to Alex.
I know. I'll be nice to Alex. He's going to run away. But Alex he's doing a good job too. He's been a great addition to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. With that in mind, let's close it out. Obviously, I second everything you say. I'll
be out in Abbotsford tonight. Either I might be on the broadcast. I might just be watching the game, eating a Lully's dog.
Very nice.
Did I tell you? I didn't tell you about my Lully's story last week. So I go second intermission. I'm like, that's the time where I'm going to go be able to get a snack. Go down. Got my Abbotsford gift card or whatever because they give you can get a free meal in Abbotsford. I go to Lully's. I'm standing in line. Everything's going good. You know, a father and son in front of me, or maybe not. It was an older man and a child, and they go up. They get 2 hot dogs. And then I walk up, and sorry, man, those were our last 2 dogs.
No. Did you say, do you know who I am?
Oh, I said, oh God. And then something crossed my mind. I said, you know what? The onion jam or the bacon onion jam that they have is good enough. What if I just get that and cheese?
Oh gosh.
And I was like, no. I ended up getting freaking Panago. I walked out of there with 2 Hawaiian pieces of pizza and a cheesy cheddar dip. And tonight I'm, maybe when I get to the rink, I'm going straight to Lully's. I'm getting one of those foot-long dogs with the bacon jam and the cheese because they use poutine cheese as their hot dog for a cheese dog. Anyways, I'm actually hungry now too, so let's get out of here. I got to go to the gym. I got to eat. So,
okay,
folks in the chat, good to see everyone. We'll see you all on Monday.
Oh my gosh, someone said Fabergasted. Oh, I'm using that. See you Monday, buddy. For my co-host Chris Faber, my name is David Quadrelli. Our technical producer was Alex Allard. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Canucks Conversation. You can see my sweatpants there.
See you next week.
Thanks for listening to Canucks Conversation, delivered by DoorDash. Hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode.